Hi, welcome to the ExAnime podcast.
Hi,
It's
Justus.
episode number 32.
32. Let's get it. Let's pull the Band-Aid off. Man, there's a
Alright.
big death this week. Or yesterday, last night even.
Well, for you, Lowe's last night.
Well, I mean, yeah, for everyone knew last night. Okay, he died on the 6th, but do you want to say his name? Because I'm going to butcher it.
Wait. Who's?
Talking about Berserk. What are you talking about? Who else died?
Oh, I thought you were talking about To Your Eternity.
Oh, no.
I mean, to be fair, we are also going to talk about that death as well. So, like.
No, that was talking about the bigger death of everything.
Yeah.
You're killing me, Smalls.
I'm so sorry. I don't have his name up.
I
Directly
don't
on.
want to
He
butcher
was
it because I know.
creator of Berserk. It's
Doctor.
Doctor.
Yeah, he's Professor. Sorry, Professor. Kentaro Miura. This is how it says
Mariah.
you pronounce it, Mariah.
Mariah.
I was trying to pronounce his name correct.
Miura.
I don't want to butcher it too much on there. Yeah, he died. Technically, he died the 6th.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just announced it. Was it technically last night? So the 19th for us, the 20th for them.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because they're 14 hours ahead. With a Twitter post. I thought there would have been something like on the website first, then Twitter post, but they just did Twitter post first, which I guess that gets the mass of the audience.
Mm-hmm.
With only 3 hours of them posting, it already had like 250,000 likes. And like 200,000 retweets.
I think the last time that I saw it, it was over like 300,000.
Yeah, this
is a
at
lot.
noon it was like 350,000, which is a lot,
Mm-hmm.
especially for something more anime focused.
There's currently 358,000.
Yeah, so it's very, very emotional death in the world of anime and even a lot of video games. So like a big thing as a tribute to, he died of, what was it? It was basically
a tear in the artery next to his heart.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. There's like an actual name for it, but I can't remember what it was, which is a very like tragic thing because he's already kind of been in poor health for a while. I think he's already had some surgeries, and the community always said to him like, hey, you know, the Berserk community I'd say is like 90% understanding and like 10% like toxic. I want the next thing, which is I feel like a lot of anime communities, some more so than others. They just want more. But the dude's been writing Berserk since 89 is when it officially was first published. So he might have been working on it like 86, you know, up until then. But because it gets published, so it was a few years before that, he probably did stuff. It's not as easy now. Like you just can't like upload it online and people can see it. Then it gets published. Like then he had to have, like he has very good skills. He's very good at story, character development, and like just drawing. Like the drawings in Berserk are fucking ridiculous how well detailed it is, which is why he liked to work on it himself until I want to say he took on some apprentices. I want to say it was like 4, maybe 5 to help him like kind of do some more of the work, do some of the not animation, some of the drawing. They did work on some of the animation. They also worked on another project that he didn't care about as much. It was still very well done.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, think of like if Hayao Miyazaki did a side project. Like, I feel like this death would be as tragic as if, like, maybe Miyazaki died. It would be more devastating in the West, like us, for if Miyazaki died than, you know, Japan, because everyone here, when they think anime, they think Miyazaki, like, Spirited Away or something like that. But a lot of people, the coolest tribute that I've been seeing is everyone's logging on to Final Fantasy XIV. And if you just log in and go to any of the cities, or I should say the main city, Calvin showed it to me last night after we talked about it. But it would just like an hour or two after. Sorry, it was all about 3 hours. We found out 3 hours after, or you found it before and then showed it to me. Like 3 hours after we learned about the death, literally you could log in the Final Fantasy XIV, and there was just hundreds of people in every server lining up on the main street of the city with bonfires lit with like their biggest swords that they can. Because there's like a lot of Berserk kind of swords. Because Final Fantasy, Monster Hunter, some of the Dark Souls stuff was heavily influenced by Berserk. So it's kind of understanding why those communities are very drawn to him on there. So it's very emotional. It was tough learning about that last night because I'm not a super big fan like Calvin is. Like Calvin's been a huge fan of Berserk, like all the way since like even I think middle school. He's been into Berserk, so it's been at least 10, 12 years. He's been a fan of Berserk. Like, how old are you when you go to middle school? It's like
what is it?
You're 14 when you go into like high school typically.
Roughly 11 to 14, depending on your age.
So we're both 26. So yeah, 15 years. He's been a fan of Berserk. I'm a relatively kind of like middle tier fan, I would say. Like, I know about it. I've read I think I was up to manga like 20 when I quit, or roughly that, because other things came up. I still like Berserk. I've still seen like most of Berserk, minus the newer movies, like the last 2 movies and the newest series I haven't seen. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it was kind of rough. Even last night, I just sat there like, it's really fucking blows. Dudes have been in terrible health, which is weird about him. We'll move on in a sec, because I'm taking a lot of time. The weirdest thing about him, though, is like if you watch his work, like very graphic, very gory, kind of dark, kind of fighting, because that's the world of Berserk. It's not, nice and peaceful all the time. It's very dark. Then it's like, oh, what do you do in your free time? You probably do some dark stuff, don't you? Like pray to Satan. It's like, no, I just play the Love Live games all the time. It's like, holy shit. That's all he does. He plays like Love Live on like 360, which, 2 very different personalities. You got to balance it out. But that's about that. That's the biggest news, I think, of this year so far for anime, right? Yeah, that'd be the biggest.
I would think.
Especially a death of someone that's influenced.
The most impactful news so far.
Considering he's influenced an industry for years. Mm-hmm. I mean, since Berserk came out, I'd say even like probably mid to late 90s is like, probably like mid 90s is like the biggest influence of his work, because that's when everyone started to really realize how good it is. Mm-hmm. And like I said, all the newer Final Fantasy games and Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter is a very big, like, you think of kind of Berserk when you play a lot of the influence. So it's very sad to see. He's only 54. So he's been probably working on Berserk since he's 20, is I think how we worked out the math, or what we think. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I'm not a super fan, so don't hate me, but it's rough. Yeah. Getting a little. Let's move on to some more shit. This whole week's been depressing because fucking 2 Year Eternity. You want to talk about that first? And then 86. Oh my God.
So this week, the core shows that we were talking about is our B list, because we alternate from an A list to a special to a B list, so that way some shows have time to kind of build up episodes. Do we want to start with 2 Year Eternity?
Oh man, yeah. Let's get the depressing shit. I'm already like getting upset about it.
Yeah. So 2 Year Eternity.
So what are we on? We're on episode 4, 5, 6, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So summary again, real quick, because it's been a couple weeks. We ended with him saying arigato after he killed the bear god of the forest, and now that's where we're at. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah. Man, this show is so good. I actually have the first 2 volumes of the manga, and conveniently enough, I was showing Matt where the second volume ends is exactly where episode 6 ends.
So it seems like they're doing 1 chapter to 1 episode.
Roughly,
right?
It seems.
Which is crazy. Most anime fills stuff in.
So March and them were...
March is the little girl.
March is the little girl.
She's still... episode 4, they're being taken to the city, right?
Yeah.
That's episode 4. They've just been taken to this new city.
March, Perona, Fushi, and then there was that old lady, Pioran. I think you only find out her name like in episode 6.
Episode 6, yeah. Because before that, they call her
she's like grandma.
Yeah, they call her grandma, but she's like the person that's supposed to pick the sacrifice. Also, she's fucking criminal.
Yeah. Oh well.
I mean,
grandmas can be criminals.
Did they say what she was a criminal for?
No. Being different.
Probably sells drugs.
As long as they're good.
It was interesting. Go ahead.
So they were being taken to the city by what the hell is that crazy bitch's
They
name?
have really weird names in this show. I'll be honest.
Hayase?
I can't pronounce names that well that are Japanese, but they do have some weird names in this show.
Yeah,
March.
I have this list up just because the names are even a little extra out there. They're being taken back to the main city after the god bear is dead.
Killed.
Yeah, yep. Otanashi. I think.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Well, it's actually not even killed.
They said he's
heavily wounded.
Because they're about to kill it. Because they said it's literally passed out.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's March was tasked with healing the bear, like sprucing it. Yeah, because she took out. I thought those were actual spikes in the bear.
No,
and then you find out they're like, oh, these are arrows. I'm like, holy shit, these are arrows? They're some pretty strong ass arrows.
Mm-hmm.
March is tasked with. Well, I think the thing is they get to the city, then they get fucking drugged.
Yeah, after a nice day.
Well, it's so funny because the best part was when they were eating the dinner. And it's like, March, you got to be, more grown up. Eat with, it's March is telling the dog, you got to eat like this, Fu-chan. And she's like eating with her fucking hands. And he's like, oh, okay. And then starts eating with his hands. And then, of course, their capture girl, whatever the fuck her name is.
Hayashi.
And then she's like, no. You got to use these chopsticks. And, of course, they all fucking pass out.
Yeah.
Episode 4 was pretty lame, to be honest. Not much happened.
Yeah, it was all just the build up because basically they get brought to a prison. March volunteers to do the cleanup for the bear. And
then they try and kill Fu-chan.
Yes,
the transforming dog wolf thing. Because they're like, hey, if you kill it, you'll be fucking free. And then of course, the first guy tries to kill him, gets fucking schwacked.
Mm-hmm.
Old lady even tries to kill him. He's like, nah.
Yeah, and it was just a show of he is very much not a regular human being. They do try to escape. One time he digs a tunnel out into the kind of the main area.
They don't even fucking care. He digs a tunnel. They end up with the bear, and they're like, okay, whatever. And he just goes back to his cell. He uses that hole that entire episode.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you're not going to stop him or anything.
Yeah.
And then Big Sister.
Perona, she is one floor above.
Yeah, she's directly above him in their whole cage system.
She's creating her entire plan to get out. And she basically uses Fushi's fur to create rope that
and she can use to swing and climb.
Mm-hmm.
Which I got beef with that. She fucking fell 100 feet and she's like, oh, I ended up in the storage room. I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then some other dude, man, she almost gets fucking molested by that guard that's like, I won't tell anybody if you she kicks his ass.
Yep. She takes his disguise and then gets March, Pioran, and Fushi out of there.
Is that the beginning of the 5th episode?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, I forgot how long that 4th episode was then.
The beginning of the 5th episode, because,
it's a mix. The thing
is, so the beginning of the ending of the 4th episode is her showing March that she has the disguise and that they're about to be taken. And then the beginning of the 5th episode
is them actually escaping.
Yeah, and episode 5 feels very long.
Episode 5 makes you really. So episode 5 was very emotional. It's kind of on the par with episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
So episode 5, you're they're trying.
I think it's even a little bit worse.
Yeah, because the thing is, you grow. I mean, episode 1 when you meet Noah, I think it's his name. Noah. It's something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 5, you get March and the group are leaving, and in order to show proof that they have slain the god of the mountains, so they don't have to sacrifice any more kids anymore. What's her name again? The older sister.
Perona. It's spelled P-A-R-O.
I'm just gonna call her older sister because that's kind of what she treats it like. But they're getting ready to leave, and she's about to cut the fur off the monster and then cut out one of its eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Which is weird. I just got a notification. It should be on silent. Sorry. But it's weird because I thought the bear was dead until they're like, oh no, don't kill. It's like, wait, what? I thought this bear was fucking, because it very much seemed like the bear was dead. I think I just missed a line of dialogue.
Mm-hmm. Specifically when the bear died, There was actually a unique interaction because the bear officially passed in episode 4.
Yes.
When they first did that attempted kind of like pseudo escape, but not really kind of thing. When the moment the bear died, Fushi, who knows how to say thank you and ow, it hurts.
Yeah, that's when he starts saying it hurts.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to rip this off.
And then the moment the bear dies, he says thank you. And that was kind of the core acknowledgement because, of course, Fushi can kind of understand.
Yeah. Well, the thing is he gets stimulation off of... The thing is they made it very clear he only gets stimulated when things die.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he first started as an orb and ran into the rock, he was the rock until... What is it? They say rocks technically have a lifespan of like billions and billions. I don't know. It's something dumb. You know what I mean? Like rocks stop. I don't know.
Yeah, and life and death and like very strong emotions like love and stuff like that are the core stimulating.
That's what makes this episode so sad because not much happens for the next like little bit. They're just trying to run away. And I don't know if you noticed. I noticed it immediately in the frame. I thought it was like a ghost because the carriage is driving away. And I'm like, what is that like ghost corner?
And then we're getting slightly ahead of ourselves.
Not much else happens.
Well,
they just run away.
We kind of jumped. So the bear dies and then they get brought back to their cell. Then there's the episode 5. We kind of moved back. So in episode 5, there was the moral ambiguity of like, though the bear is dead, March was arguing that you don't have to like cut it up as proof that it's dead. And then that's when they get the cart and they leave because Perona says, fine, like, I'm not going to win this battle. I'm not going to, like, take the bear's eyes and its fur and stuff. Because that's, like, a core kind of important thing because that was one of the things that she was working towards. So that way no other kids could ever be sacrificed. And then, like, we're in the carriage as it's leaving the main building. And that's where you see that, like, ghost-y smoke-looking thing in the corner.
They play
the carriage is just on fire, but they do a very
play that off. They're like, they're just talking, and she's like taking off her shirt. I'm like, why is she taking off her shirt and shit?
Mm-hmm.
Or not shirt, but like her overcoat.
Well, she was initially driving, and the grandma casually trades places with her, and just how casual like everything is.
So I thought it was maybe it was rendered wrong type thing, and then you just see her. She's talking to March like, yeah, what's up? And she's like fucking trying to put the fire out. Mm-hmm. Then she comes in and grabs the armor and then pulls it in her hand. She's like, okay, March, okay. And she's getting shot at. It's like, are we just going to play softball fucking casual? Like, okay.
Yeah, and then that's when you start to see, like...
A small fight incurs, and then the saddest part since episode 1 fucking happens. Big Sis is putting out the fire again, and she then kicks one of the guards off that tried to jump on. And as she's getting ready...
the bad girl that's chasing them.
Hayase then like pulls out her fucking compound bow expert eagle shot, goes to shoot Big Sis, and then March fucking jumps in the way of the arrow and gets fucking hit. I'm like, these motherfuckers gonna do this to me, huh?
Mm-hmm. At that point, Fushi absolutely like
he turns into the fucking bear. The best part is you watch him just fucking uppercut the fucking Hayase. Just uppercuts her, and that guttural scream, I was like, damn, she got fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
And then you spend the next couple minutes in like this extremely emotional, like he's going off destroying shit still. Like they kind of cut to him as March is talking. And then literally March is, what did she say? She's like, you'll have to go on without me or something. Like March has a very adult moment of like, I kind of know I'm dying. And what's even more sad is they have a flashback to when Big Sis kind of met March and like the whole background of that. Because Big Sis's sister, so Big Sis's actual sister, sacrificed herself when they were both kids. Because Big Sis was initially supposed to be sacrificed, it seems like, to the gods. And then she sacrificed herself. No one liked her really after that. Everyone was kind of mad at her, left her alone, and now Big Sis has no family. And that's when she meets March, makes March a doll, and March in return, that's why she always pretends to eat that food.
The like mud ball.
Yeah, and then March made her new like fur balls as food for her, and you're just like, oh my fucking god, so goddamn sad.
Yeah, and the moment like March dies, You even get this small like flash forward of like March who,
if she
like,
was an actual parent.
Yeah, as like more of an adult, and well, there's the little like hints of the like adult version of her that never was, and like all of the little dolls.
Like the picture of volume 2 is her.
Yes.
Like if you look at volume 2, because I noticed that when you look at them, I'm like, oh my god, that's her as like a grown up person. This is just even more fucking sad. And then
there is basically like a ghost moment where she realizes that she's dead. March does, and
they just hit you with sad thing after sad thing, dude. Because she's even there crying, you're crying, dog's fucking crying. Well, now bear.
Well, yeah, it's so she sees God, Perona. Yeah, Perona, whatever.
I just call her Big Sis.
Yeah, she sees her crying with March in her arms, and she realizes that, hey, that's my body in there.
She does say, "Am I dead?"
Yeah,
you realize that.
And Perona is about to kill herself as well. She'd like.
This is at the end of the fight. You think she's gonna stab Hayase because Hayase's there, caked in fucking blood, about to die, and she picks up this like fucking shard of a sword. You're like, oh my god, she's gonna kill her. Then she puts it to her throat, and it's like, oh whoa, hold up, don't do this. I can't take 2 deaths in one episode.
Yeah, and Fushi comes out as his human form, and he does stop her. As the mix of that is building, you also have Ghost March like trying to stop her as well. And once Fushi grabs the blade, you see a very sad orb basically pouting and not like wanting to cry. So yeah, it was real rough. Basically they just escape after that point, and they just
she does bring March back to the village, which was very emotional. Again, the whole episode 5 was just, that's all episode 5, by the way. That's just fucking emotional. Episode 6, we'll speed on it because we're going way too long.
Yeah. It was...
Episode 6, fucking Fushi meets old lady.
Again,
after she's starving to death. Then the whole episode is kind of like, well, he does get in a fight with this, the original creator, the guy that voices Overhaul,
that is not the person that he's getting into a fight with. The creator.
He's getting in a fight with a monster of the world, and you find out his actual mission is to like stop. There's like some evil,
collect a bunch of souls, basically, something like that.
Yeah, he has to like help save the Earth from this like monster thing. And besides that, it was very like, that was only like a 3-minute thing, by the way. It was very short. Basically, episode 6 is him learning he actually can speak sentences now. Like the old lady kind of teaches him how to speak. And then the next episode 7, which we haven't seen yet because it's coming out, that'll be interesting because now you get to meet this whole new set of characters that they're probably just going to fucking kill. Also, really quick before we move on, because we're short.
Fushi can now turn into March as well.
Yeah, Fushi can turn into March. No, what I was going to say is fuck the guy that runs the fucking To Your Eternity Twitter. That's a fucking lowball move. Literally, it's fucking the older sister crying in a fucking quote FMA. It's a what is it?
Terrible day for
rain. I'm like, fuck you. Okay, really quick. We can speed run Pretty Boy. Speed on Pretty Boy.
They're really pretty boys. Basically, with the last couple of episodes,
4 and 5 is just them in a casino.
Yep. Someone's cheating. The owner of the casino. Middle school casino, by the way.
It's a casino run by a middle schooler that looks like he's
in the school.
In the school gym, yeah. And it's like, what, every Sunday night?
Yeah. Which,
first of all,
ridiculous.
Also it's middle schoolers running around in bunny suits. You should be fucking ashamed of yourself.
I have no shame.
The thing is, episode 4 and 5, pretty much the same. It just felt like a long episode. They're running a casino. Then you find out like the guy running the casino is probably working with a military company because there's like an invisible girl.
Yeah.
That our main girl can see. Pretty Boy Detective number 6. She can see that person. And then she finds out they're cheating. And then, of course, our fucking class president or the club president dresses like fucking Miku again. And then he plays poker with him and then loses. And they just fucking
think he just likes dressing up as a girl.
Yeah. He's just the cross dresser. Episode 6 is the kind of interesting one.
Yeah, the most recent one.
Yeah, it was a whole episode about artwork, and that's where they're like, hey, look at us. We can fucking animate It looked beautiful because they're trying to figure out.
There were 33 paintings in the attic of the art room.
Yeah, there was 33 paintings in the attic of the art room, and they're trying to figure out. It's like a whole like standoff episode of why did they draw these? What is the mystery behind this? And it's funny seeing everyone's hypothesis about this till the actual school president comes up with
Sakaguchi.
Yeah. The old art teacher believed in, art and how every school should have it. And if you don't have art, I'm going to steal everyone from this school. And she just steals all the people from paintings. They're famous paintings without the people.
Well, there was an entire winded thing because they go to the main auditorium where that art teacher had painted a mural of the auditorium in the auditorium kind of thing.
That's what it was. The auditorium in the auditorium. And then that's when he goes into it's like a whole 15-minute thing.
Yeah, basically it turned out that the school basically hired her to knowing that they were in a very short amount of time going to have to fire her anyways. And she threatened where it's no good school doesn't have art.
Yeah, that's exactly what they said. No good school doesn't have art.
Yeah, and that if you do this, I will steal take every kid from the school. And then it ends with, and she took every kid from the school. And it was cut to black. And it's well, how has no one before you ever heard of this? She took hundreds of students.
Well, I think she had the empty auditorium, which was the point. Yeah. They might do something in the next episode because it seems like every 2 episodes is a thing. So episode 1 was an introduction. 2 or 3 was its own thing. 4 or 5 was its own thing. So maybe 6, 7 is its own thing. It makes sense. That was a speedrun. Sorry for that if you really like Pretty Boy, but not much really happened. Besides, they were pretty.
Yeah, it's a fun show to watch, but it's.
Oh, I did like how episode 7 started when she's just trying to leave. And it's no, you're not leaving. No, I'll leave. No, you're not leaving. Then she uses her eyesight to try and escape, and then of course Class Prez is oh no, leg dude. It's nope, can't outrun me. Just fuck.
He fucking kicks her in midair.
Yeah, Did you hear the grunt she gave out when she catches?
Yeah. I'll quickly go over Zombieland Saga. Dude, that fucking show's ridiculous as shit.
I'm almost caught up. I literally didn't watch these 3 episodes.
So a bunch of stuff has happened. They're finally getting back into the grind of things. They've already had one successful kind of smaller show. They now have their radio show because of fucking course.
Well, didn't they? No, they started their radio show in episode 3, right?
Yeah.
And then episode 4, they finally have it, or is it?
It's already established that they've been doing it for a little while.
So it's kind of like a small time jump.
Yeah. And of course it's hey, I have, you guys are opening for this band for Saga something.
Tanya the Evil?
No, it's Saga is the entire prefecture, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why it's Zombieland Saga.
Oh, okay. That's I thought this meant I don't
know. No, there's actually an entire meaning to it.
Is there a real prefecture called Saga?
Maybe. I don't. I'd have to look. But that aside, they're you guys are opening for Iron Frill, which is a national girl group that just so happened to be the one that the blue hair one that always works really hard and has kind of been the main motivator. She was the center of before she died. And it's
oh, so they know.
Well, it's yeah, so by the way, you can't be part of this one. And it had already been a little while.
Saga is a prefecture. We can fly there. It only takes 24 hours.
Oh, that sounds like hell. Not going to Saga, just being on a plane for 24 hours.
As you were saying, she can't be part of this because she used to work with that band?
Or she used to basically be the center stage, the most important one.
So they were gonna open for them, you said? Mm-hmm. And they just don't want.
Fran Shushu is going to open for Iron Frill. It has been like a decade or so. So
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not like just instant kind of thing. Of course, the manager tells, I'm just going to say like number 3 because that's kind of what they go by. You are going to do like solo promotion stuff for right now for Fran Shushu, which is the band name. Fran Shushu is such a...
it's a cat?
No, that's...
That's why I'm here, buddy.
Yeah. Eventually, though, the lead of Iron Frill does kind of catch number 3 and is like, you have a lot of potential. I want you to be in Iron Frill. Like, Fran Shushu is just, like, never going to make it. And that's how the episode ends. And, of course, it's like, well, they can't just do that. Like, that would be very bad.
Yeah.
Next episode, of course, that, like, 2 of the girls overheard. There's the worry about that. Eventually, the manager gets out. I think she's number 2, white-haired girl, Yoko.
I'm so bad with the names. I literally binge watched like the first season in like 2 days.
Yeah, there's just a lot of names to catch up on. I mean, we're watching like. Seven shows.
You have like, what are those 8 girls?
7.
7 girls, and then you have to. It's understandable. We watch a lot of shows for you guys.
Yeah, Junko. She's really like worried about it, and the manager is like, you just gotta like smash through this, like just continue to push forward. You know that like we can succeed and the girls can succeed, like put the worries behind. And he gives like his guitar to her, and then they do this, they cut to the actual like performance itself, and there's fucking like big stage show. Tay, the one that just grunts, they got her playing drums, and look, for someone that can just go and kind of like half do the movements, she can play drums real well. Like real well levels of. All right, that's a bit out of touch for that. And they basically do like a rock song. In the audience, of course, there's still the fucking 2 like metalhead dudes that's like, yeah, they're back kind of thing. And it's like, it's always really great to see those 2 characters as like a recurring ones. Eventually, Junko may have taken things a little bit too seriously and smashes the manager's guitar. And
someone's got to pay for that shit.
He's in the back like, absolutely shocked, where he's like, you smashed my guitar. And of course, like even everyone like in the comment section while I was thinking, it was like, well, you did literally tell her to like smash it at one point. And she did.
Smash it. Smashes it.
I was there kind of like in the background. She realizes that she definitely wants to like stay with Fran Shushu. Like that's just her, the group that she's worked super hard with. She ends up running towards up on the stage to do like songs with them. They kind of fall because there's the metal barrier, and Junko can't quite catch her because she grabs her by the arm, and then the arm may start to like pop out, and they're like, oh, we can't do that. And then they like fall in that middle section. Of course, there's the guitar amp, the cable for that, like shooting sparks, and they're like, I know how to do this, and then they like electrify themselves because that's how they like glow and can do all the fun crazy shit. And even in the middle of the performance, as they're doing this new song, like one of the chicks from Iron Frill's like, how are they doing those visual effects? And it's like, look, man, you guys wouldn't understand.
It's a pro thing, insider,
The last episode, though, I'm trying to like really speed run through this. There's just a lot. Fucking Lily, the youngest one, is like, or actually it's the second last episode. Fuck, there's so many episodes. There was 4 episodes between the last time that we talked to this and now.
Was there?
Yeah.
4.
Yeah, because
should only be 3.
They aired today. The new episode does.
Why'd you watch a new one today?
I didn't.
Oh.
It was the last time we didn't talk about the one that aired today, and now we're fully caught up, which means we're like there's a one different.
Oh, okay.
Lily's like, I have an idea for us to get a bunch of performance. Also, I should mention that Friend Shushu at the very end of the previous episode did a good enough job that like, a month later they're like watching an interview for Iron Frill, and the lead singer for Iron Frill says Friend Shushu is their biggest rivals, and it's like, what? So of course they're like getting way more press than ever before because that threw things off. Lily's like, hey, we're on a roll. Like, I want to enter basically Japan's Got Talent. And I think that's literally what it's called. So
I don't think Japan actually has a Got Talent. Like America Got Talent.
Yeah.
Like the Got Talent.
It was basically that, like 3 judges. The chick judge was always crying at everything. It was actually kind of funny. She was entering, she was going to do like magic and stuff like that, and then there was this entire child prodigy thing that basically became like a pseudo rivalry within the episode. She ends up losing, but it was pretty good. There's not a whole lot to that episode. The episode after, though, in the most recent episode until the one today, Tay, again, the one that doesn't speak, it was the entire episode was focused on her. Like, we need her to like help because they're still like 200 or 20 million yen in debt. So like $200,000 in debt.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money to still be in debt. And like, all right, we at least need her to like go grab groceries and stuff while everyone can work. So she gets sent out to grab groceries. She has a fucking zombie dog with her out in public. Sorry.
Don't worry, we really like Halloween.
Yeah. Apparently, no one really notices or cares about the dog, but the reporters that have continuously been suspicious that the older one kind of catches her kind of out and about, and he trails her to see if there's anything interesting about it. You can definitely see like the growth in someone that wasn't really even able to like do dance moves very well, but the fact like now she can still, you know, she's stopping to like kind of talk to people. People are like asking her questions, being like, oh, are you having a nice day? Like they're giving treats to the dogs. Like, you know, there's very much like that community kind of aspect, even though she can't, you know, talk very well. Like she's really well liked. She ends up going to the store. One of the girls that was part of the original biker gang in season 1, she was there, and she was trying to buy like a new scooter for her mom, and it was like, hey, after work, like, do you want to check and like see what we've been doing? Like we want to do like dance, basically, like fucking street dancing. They cut to the street dance. It's kind of whatever. Then there's a giant fucking chicken mascot dude who's the champion of all of that. She's like, chicken from season 1. She goes up there and dance battles this dude and wins because at one point she does like a handstand and spins, but only her body is spinning and her head is staying in one place, and everyone's like, man, I don't know how she's doing it. She's spinning so fast it doesn't look like her head's moving. And it's like, oh, Jesus Christ. And eventually, like, the chicken dude, like, can't spin fast enough, and she fucking, like, kind of knocks himself out that way. Like, he gets too dizzy. She wins prize money, which is, like, a couple thousand yen. And then they're like, let's just go to the boat races, because the police officer, Tay wouldn't take the money because she just needed groceries. And the police officer was like, oh, I know where you can just waste that money because it's that dirtbag fucking police officer. They go to the races, and the main motorcycle girl that they battled in season 1 that Saki did, she's switched from like motorcycle races to like high speed boat races, and Tay accidentally fucking like, sucks on a pen, spits out ink, and the ink covers one of the blotches that's for her. So far, her odds are super low because she's never won. And then she eventually wins. And she fucking wins like 20 million yen conveniently. And it's like, okay. And then they like get back. And that main girl that was kind of with her most of the day from the supermarket and all of that was like holding the bag of money the entire time. It was like, no one else can get this. Eventually, though, Tay's head does come off by accident. Thankfully, the chick didn't see it, but the reporter was still there, and there was like an after credit scene where he took a picture of the head off. So, like,
Photoshop.
Yeah.
All right, we need to keep speed running. We're spending too much time. We have so many
shows.
shows.
There was a lot going on. I'm just trying the best I can.
86. One thing I gotta say is, dude, those opening credits spoil who's gonna die. Because if do you watch the opening at all?
Yeah.
Halfway through the opening, they have a picture of like them standing next to each other, and you're like, 2 people are gonna die. I don't recognize those people. Then you get into the episode, and you're like, oh, these are people from the past, because they have a flashback of when the unit first started. Like, hey, we'll be out of service in no time, and then immediately they're like, nah, these 2 motherfuckers are dead. Mm-hmm. That's pretty much all that happened in episode 5. Episode 4, right, was the mental breakdown episode.
Yeah.
So in episode 4, they kind of go in depth about why Undertaker goes and he shoots everybody in the head. Mm-hmm. If they're like seriously injured and they're going to die in the battlefield, rather than bury them, he shoots them in the head. And the reason being is the Legion will take these bodies, and you find out the Legion actually has a high powering like AI working. And in 2 years, that AI is going to shut down. That's why you find out they keep saying the war is going to end in 2 years. It's going to end in 2 years. And they find out, well, no, it's going to end in 2 years because AI is going to shut down. But they've been taking bodies off the battlefield to find intact brains. Mm. So if they find a intact brain, then that'll help them keep functioning the war, because they're just wearing out this brain super quick. Mm-hmm. And then you also find out in episode, I think it's 6, that Undertaker's older brother actually saved our main girl. What's her name? I can't remember. The main white-haired girl. Whatever her name is.
I'll have it to you in a second.
Yep. She actually was saved by Undertaker's older brother when the white-haired girl's father went to take them to the front to explore it. And then, of course, it gets shot down. So you figure out how her dad actually died. It was on the front. He gets killed trying to defend her because the helicopter crash. He's trying to shoot a giant robot, which isn't going to fucking do shit. And then Undertaker's older brother saves her, brings her back, gives her chocolate, which is why Undertaker kind of likes sweets, because his older brother kind of always gave him sweets, apparently.
Lena,
yeah. And you find out that, like, the reason why a lot of these commanders go insane of the 86 is because they stay on comms too long, and through the comms you can hear dead people's voices, which means they found their brain enough to say a few things. So they're trying to, like, use people's voices. It's kind of like give them PTSD. So Lena in episode 4 hears all these voices. They're like, hey, you should disconnect. You're going to hear some stuff and you're going to go crazy. And she's like, no, I'll stay connected. Then she goes fucking crazy for a little bit. And
I mean, which is fair. Like, yeah, at some point.
Someone that, because the thing is, they even point out all these people in the kingdom have never really seen combat.
Yeah. So I think specifically the stipulation is those who have been close to coming to dying can hear it.
Yeah.
And she like almost died.
Yeah, she almost died. Undertaker, we don't know exactly how he got those scars. They kind of make it seem like when his brother was choking him to death, that's how he got these scars around his whole neck. But it was a kind of, episode 4 was very much a background heavy episode. So was episode 6. Episode 5 was very much like, oh, you should really love everybody. Then he immediately killed 2 more people. It's like, so we're losing a person in episode. Roughly. They even point out episode 6, they're tasked with taking out a forward command post of the Legion. Everyone knows it's a trap. Mm-hmm. And that's how Undertaker knows the Legion's about to attack, because he came close to death. He can hear the voices, and he always hears the voices before the attack. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be interesting to see, because we're halfway through the season. We already lost a lot of people.
Well, we're slightly over half because we're 6 episodes in and there's only 11 for the first core.
So here soon, we're probably going to see a lot of people die. And I don't know where they're going to go with it. Because when we went to Barnes & Noble's, we didn't see, I think we only saw like 4 manga for 86. There might be more, but that'd be a pretty short
specifically, though, there were like 13 light novel books.
Oh, I guess that's true. So, I mean, it might go on longer, but my guess is a lot of people are going to die. And that, not too much happened in 86. Luckily, not too much happened in Pretty Boy in 86 too.
Yeah.
I think the next couple episodes are going to be very combat focused and a lot of death focused. And I think you're going to see a mental breakdown of someone.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like Lena's friend in the Capitol, the scientist one that's apparently trying to find suitors either younger or older than her. Like one of them was like a 12-year-old kid. And she's like, nah. One of them was like an 8-year-old. Yeah. It seems like she's kind of plotting against her friend now because she's like, don't get too comfortable with the 86. They even pointed out the reason why you only see kids in the 86 is all the adults have died. Mainly because, bad. Because you treat them like dogs. So, not die. You treat dogs better than that. But.
Yeah. Last one. I think.
No, we have Tokyo Revengers and VIVY. We got to talk about it. That's what I was like.
I didn't know if you wanted to wait on VIVY.
What? I watched 4 episodes. I got to talk about it now because otherwise next time it's going to be super long. Let me explain VIVY real quick. Hear me out. Okay, so it takes place in the future. AI have become a part of society. Most AI look like regular humans.
Mm. The
first episode they start with, watch all these fucking people die. You know that scene in what is it called? What douche of the rebellion? Code Geass. Listen, what douche is how I remember all this shit. Leave me alone. So remember that scene where that princess is like just killing everybody?
Yeah, Euphemia, yes.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Everyone's fucking dead, and it looks like an amusement park. It pretty much is. All those people are just fucking dying. There's like little ball robots that find people and just smash into them. And then like personal robots that are supposed to help find lost children are just killing people. And then they just have this fucking then they go like, okay, so anyways, 100 years ago, because like some scientist dude activates VIVY is our main character's name. That's why it's called VIVY. There's more to it, but he enters in a whole bunch of code while being chased down by these murderous robots. And he activates a program, which apparently that program can go back in time and reprogram VIVY. Because VIVY is just a robot that's supposed to make the world happy through her singing. That is her mission. And they explain each robot has a mission. So the first episode, pretty boring. And then towards the middle of the episode, it gets super depressing because the middle of the episode, you meet this AI bear. It's like a little stuffed bear that's an AI, and that's who the doctor sends the code to. And basically, this bear knows what happens the next 100 years. So they're going to stop every major event, leading robots to become murderers, because basically a war erupts between humans and robots, and these are some of the causes. So that's episode 1. Episode 2 is literally... What was episode 2? Episode 2 was them saving a guy that's trying to pass I think it's the AI naming project. So like AIs are supposed to have the same rights as humans, basically, which is fucking weird in this world. Because VIVY is like the first robot of her kind that has like full cognitive function. She's not just like a stereotypical robot. She looks like a human, very beautiful. The animation in the show, fucking fantastic. Like every time they do a close-up, amazing. Like animation goes like from 0 to 100. When they're zoomed out, it's pretty standard animation. But when they zoom in, anytime they zoom in on anything, super high quality. Episode 2 was just her saving the guy that was going to pass this program. Like he got killed. In the future, he technically gets killed. And then this AI naming project bill passes. And, for him, we pass this bill. So they save him so the bill doesn't pass because he decides, we're not going to pass this bill. And you learn there's a terrorist organization that's anti-AI, which seems super realistic in a world where AI is this strong. Episode 3 is where it gets super interesting because now they go to a space hotel. Vivi's job is to stop the main girl, Elizabeth. She's another robot that's in charge of this hotel from basically she crashes it into the earth, which then starts the whole kind of start of the conflict of humans versus AI. She stops her, because Elizabeth didn't crash it. Elizabeth's robot sister has the same code and all that. It's very, very weird. I'm trying to do it real quick. But so far, Vivy's super good. Also, between episode 2 and episode 3, there's a 15-year gap because the war takes place 100 years in the future. So it seems like every episode, they're just going to jump forward 15 years. Because at the end of episode 4, which is when they stop the ship from crashing, Vivy stops the anti-AI terrorist. Actually plotted this to make it, people hate the AIs. Typical terrorist shit. And it's very sad. The show is getting sad because in episode 2, I forgot to mention, Vivy is very good friends with this little girl that watches every one of her performances and is very supportive. Like, Vivy, you can do it. In episode 2, when Vivy stops the that robot AI company dude from dying, Vivy learned in the future that there's a plane crash, and on the plane was her friend. So she tries to stop the plane crash, and the fucking bear is inside a fucking suit, rips off her arm. She's like, no, Vivy, don't you dare stop that plane. It needs to happen. Because they can't change too much of the future. Mm-hmm. And you watch the plane just explode in the sky. Rip. Sorry, very short. Tokyo Revengers. You should watch Vivi. Great.
Tokyo Revengers is so good, by the way, right now. There's just...
Listen, our boy's was about to get some fucking booty.
Yeah.
Luckily, he gave up because I want to know what led up to that moment. She's trying to get some booty. And
it's just one of those difficult things that, I think kind of, when he goes back into the future, the mind of, Takemichi as,
he goes in between.
Past,
yeah.
Because
they point that out. They point that out in episode 4, don't they?
Yeah.
She's like, right now you're adult Takemichi, but the other day you were kid Takemichi.
Yeah. And that specific girl was just trying to get Draken's attention.
Yeah, she was just trying to make him jealous because she's like, he doesn't see me as a woman.
Yeah.
And then episode 5 gets fucking... episode 4 is dark.
Yeah, episode 4.
Because he meets his friend in the future because he's part of the top gang, and he talks about how he can't get away from... What's his name? Who's the main gang leader?
Tashi? Manjiro.
He talks about no one can escape him because once you're in the gang, you're always in the game.
Yeah, or Teda,
yeah. And then he's meeting up with his friend that he hasn't seen since middle school. And they're talking on the roof. Everything's going good. Then he gets up on the ledge. He's like, there's no way to escape. I know, he knows he can go back in the past. He's like, can you travel in the past? He's like, no, I can't. Totally can't. He's like, well, try and save us all. Then fucking jumps off the building.
Well, you're missing a very big part. He's like, then how did that police officer know, to save you? That's...
Oh, yeah, because he pushed him onto the platform.
Yeah, and then it's revealed he's like, I'm the one that pushed you. You should have died. There's no way that guy knew. And it was like, why?
Yeah, why? You killed me? What?
Yeah, so that was kind of...
That was kind of sad because you see him, super emotional. And then later in the episode... Or no, it was right after because he does the handshake. Then he's on the back of the bike with him, wasn't he? Or was that the next episode?
No, that was the next episode. They do the handshake thing because that's when it's revealed that Draken was killed at the specific time.
Yeah, August 3rd.
Then they go back into time, and that's when he realizes that a woman is on top of him, and then he's getting ready to run away, and then they have to meet up for the...
they have the biker gang meeting because they have to decide if they want to get in a fight with the other biker gang. Because the other biker gang beat the fuck out of one of their fellow bikers and raped his girlfriend, which then is this is why we have to go to war. And then I think the next episode is him just stalking Draken to be like, listen, I got to be his bodyguard. He can't die. And then
you do learn a little bit more about
why they're like they are.
Yeah, Draken's definitely the sense of... He's much nicer than he ever wants to let on. For the badass with the dragon tattoo.
Or in high school, right?
No.
Oh, for anyone that's seen Oran, it's keep talking. I completely forgot their name. Mori Senpai, and then there's 2 characters that are kind of like this. There's the cute, adorable one, but he's a total badass, and there's the more adult, looks serious, but he's definitely like the caretaker. It's a very nice relationship because you even get a flashback of Draken in episode 5, right?
Yeah.
Like he's had
showing
that
how they met. He met Manjiro.
Like how he met him. He used to be part of a smaller gang, and he like decided, I gotta go get him because I don't want to get beat up. And then you watch Manjiro just kick the shit out of these. Like I think they were middle schoolers.
Yeah.
No, they were middle schoolers. No, Manjiro was in elementary school. Draken was in middle school.
Elementary.
Were they both elementary?
Yes, because Draken is just tall for his age.
Also, Draken grew up in a brothel.
Yeah, his life's really sad.
Yeah. I guess his dad abandoned him and his mom's a prostitute. She left him when he was 2, is what he said. And then he's always grown up in a brothel.
Yeah. Like there's literally even part of that scene where like, he just had a growth spurt before everyone else. Because he's supposed to like be comparatively like 5th grade. So about to be middle school. And he's like just getting home and one of the freaking prostitutes are walking out and be like, hey, you want
a tug?
Yeah, I want a tug before
That's when
school.
he's going. Yeah.
And it's like, whoa.
Yeah, they make you really feel for him because at first you're like, oh, he's a total criminal, whatever. But
yeah,
everyone's got to start somewhere.
It also shows like how he gets the dragon on the side of his head.
Yeah, they just some random
in fucking 5th grade.
Yeah, like some guy's like, oh, whatever, I'll give you a tattoo. Who the fuck cares?
Mm-hmm. It's just so you know it's gonna hurt. Oh, just do it. Ow, ow, ow. All right, I'm done. Awesome.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm going to show it off. Yeah. So that's about where, then episode 6, they have that big meeting. And that's kind of where it ends because they're talking like they want to go to war. And our main character guy says, no, let's not go to war because, he doesn't want to tell him the future.
Yeah, he does go back to the future once to find the original leader of Mobius, I think.
Yeah, Mobius is the one. And then because they show that, but like this used to be him.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a total fucking loser. And then that's when he says like, don't they mention like how he gets killed?
He was stabbed.
Yeah, he was like, oh, he was stabbed, but then they they hint that like they really fought among themselves is the problem.
Kind of, I guess. He didn't give a whole lot of details. He didn't want to talk about it. Like it was for him, it was like old news. Like he's very much the like loser. Fucking
yeah.
He got yelled at for taking his lunch and being back on time.
Poor work ethic because your work ethic is correct.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was just kind of one of those like, phew. And then they go back. He goes back in time again. It's like, hey, we shouldn't do this because they were having the discussion amongst a couple of them.
Then the other fucking gang shows up with like 40 fucking dudes.
Yeah, and
like,
Mobius
this is war.
Shows up, be like, oh, like we heard you were gonna do this. It's like, well, we're gonna teach you a lesson right now instead, and that's how it ends.
I wonder how it is gonna go off in the next episode.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Other than that, sorry for that. We'll try and make it shorter next time, but
yeah, the difficulty is there's a couple of these where like Zombieland Saga within that time, like there was that like overlapping episode.
The thing is, I think we have 2 more episodes on the B list, and we do the A list though.
Do we?
Because what's on the A list? We have Megalo. We'll figure it out later.
My Hero Combatants. Don't Toy With Me, Megalo, and Fruits Basket. Yeah, we have one more on B. But,
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
E. All right.
Well, I guess we did have the whole 10-minute thing of farewell to a legend.
Yeah. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to mention we are streaming.
Yes.
On specifically technically Bonwee. It's a general stream. We're trying to get the name changed to probably Bonwee Productions. I don't know. But other than that,
thank you.